Gardaí investigating the disappearance of a 3-year-old child who went missing 4 years ago have discovered skeletal remains during searches of waste ground in North County Dublin. The child has been named as Daniel Aruebose, who is known to have resided at the Gallery Apartments in Donabate.
3 weeks after the investigation into the disappearance of Daniel Aruebose commenced, and just over 2 weeks after the search for him began at Wasteland in Donabate in County Dublin, today a major breakthrough in the case with the discovery of human skeletal remains. Gardaí discovered the remains and some items of clothing on the Wasteland this morning and believe they are the remains of the little boy who was last seen alive over 4 years ago. Today the Gardaí issued this photograph of Daniel when he was aged just 2.5, wearing his teddy bear top, his black hair standing up, his brown eyes staring into the camera. His subsequent disappearance was only discovered after the Department of Social Protection alerted TUSLA about irregularities in an application for child support payments. TUSLA then contacted the Gardaí, who commenced this investigation and the search of the lands at Donabate, where they had been told the child was buried after he had died from natural causes. TUSLA also confirmed it previously had dealings with Daniel and his family. The scene where the human remains were found today has now been preserved, pending the arrival of a state pathologist and a forensic anthropologist. A large black tent covers the area where the grim discovery was made. The human skeletal remains will be exhumed in what Gardaí say will be a careful and sensitive manner, and the Garda Technical Bureau will conduct a forensic examination of the scene. A specialist forensic paediatric pathologist will also be engaged to conduct a post-mortem on the child's remains to try to establish the cause of death. Gardaí also say DNA samples will be taken to confirm the child's identity. Daniel Aruebose lived at the Gallery Apartments here in Donabate before he went missing. His home has now been searched and forensically examined, but Gardaí say they're continuing to carry out house-to-house inquiries in the area and are anxious to speak to anyone who lived here since July 2019. They're also appealing to anyone who has any information in relation to the short life and tragic death of Daniel Aruebose to contact the investigation team at Swords Garda Station.
And Paul joins us now from the scene in Donabate. Paul, so what happens next in this Garda investigation?
Well, Sharon, tragic as it is, we have some confirmation that a child, Daniel Aruebose, has died. And there is perhaps some consolation in the fact that the Gardaí have now discovered human skeletal remains, because it means that they can progress this investigation. They can seek to establish a cause of death, and they can now try to find and try to establish exactly what they're dealing with. Is it a case of accidental death? Is it a case of death by natural causes? Or is there something more sinister involved here? The Gardaí stressing, and indeed right up to the Garda Commissioner stressing, that they're taking this case very, very slowly and dealing with it very sensitively. And you can see that from the scene here behind us tonight, which is very different to the way it has been over the past 2 weeks with diggers churning up the earth. It's all very calm here. A smaller area in the corner behind the 3 trees has been sealed off. There are now a number of black tents up, and the Garda forensic team are working there in a slow and methodical manner. The Gardaí also today issued a photograph of Daniel and some biographical details, and they did this as well to progress the investigation, because now people can see who Daniel Aruebose was, and they want people to jog their memories. Did anybody know the child? What information have they got about his short life, or perhaps about his tragic death? They want people to contact them if they have any information about them. They're also specific in relation to an appeal to people who lived in the apartment complex, the Gallery Apartments in Donabate, where Daniel himself lived before he died. They want people, not just present residents, but past residents, back to July 2019, that's 6 years ago, people who lived there, to contact them. And they're also asking them not to assume that the Gardaí know what they know, because they want them to give any information they have in relation to this tragic case.
Crime correspondent Paul Reynolds, thank you.
Tusla has revised the number of children whose cases were closed during the COVID-19 pandemic and are subject to a wellbeing check to over 42,000. Minister for Children Norma Foley requested reviews into the cases following questions over the agency's dealings with the family of Daniel Aruebose. Our social affairs correspondent Alva Keneally is with us. Alva, it was already a huge job and it's just got bigger.
Yeah, the number of children that Tusla says will be involved in this review is 42,552, confirming that figure this evening. We thought it was around 38,000 prior to this. Now, this is a review that the Minister for Children requested 2 weeks ago when the search began out in Donabate, and it centres around children who've been in contact with Tusla, particularly around the COVID years. Now, Tusla has previously said that the COVID pandemic didn't impact in the case of Daniel Aruebose, but the updated figure, it includes any case that was open to Tusla's Child Protection Services and closed between March 2020 and February 2022. It's worth saying that these cases open and close all the time. The number is extraordinary, but you could have a case closed a number of times on one child. My understanding is the review likely targets schools first to see if children can be accounted for, but we'll know more when the terms of reference are published. There'll be an independent chair who'll be appointed in the coming days, as the Minister for Children Norma Foley was speaking about earlier.
The time period has been extended to include all times when schools were shut or when schools were closed during COVID. And I think that's right. I think we want the broadest of time span to be involved here. I do want to say as well that wellbeing check will be independently managed. And I can also confirm that a chair has been identified to do that work.
And separately, Alva, there is another inquiry specifically into Daniel's case.
Yeah, this is in Tusla. It's a separate rapid review into Daniel's case. We know that Tusla had dealings with the family between 2017 and 2020. It'll be sent to the National Review Panel next week.
OK, Alva Keneally, thank you very much.